And I want to start with two elements that I think we all know somehow. They're kind of the basic underlying principles of our experience right now as we are here in this moment. And this is stillness or space or consciousness or awareness or presence. And then on the other hand, we have movement or creation or this very experience or perception or creativity, insight, intuition. So there are two big parts of our spiritual practice that, of course, are, in essence, they are unified. But for our practice, we want to look at them in a way separately in order to learn to understand their nature and also highlight both principles in our current experience. Because this very moment, as you're listening to me speaking, there are these two factors present. You're hearing my words, they make some meaning or not so much meaning in you. You have a mental, maybe an emotional, a physical response or process while you listen to these words. So there is perception. You can hear me in you. So you're perceiving what I'm saying. And all of it is the landscape of this current experience. The room that you're sitting in, like experiences, prior experiences that are still reverberating in you or working in you. And at the same time, there's something that is aware of all of those perceptions. There's something that gives a space, a home, a kind of a ground to the perceptions. So you're aware that you're listening to me. You're aware of your body. You're aware of your emotions and your thoughts. So there is something that is aware of the content of our experience. And in the spiritual practice, we practice in a way both elements in a very high resolution in order to dive deeply into or fill them deeply with awareness in order to be more and more wakeful within our current experience. So when you take a moment and you just notice that all the perceptions, like your body perception, for example, the way how you're sitting and the way how you're breathing, and the attention that you pay to your kind of emotional experience, and the attention that you pay to your mental experience, things that you're thinking while you listen to me, or the things that come up in you that are inspired by other things that you experienced earlier today or in your life, like memories that come up or thoughts about things that you didn't do. And then there is the perception of your environment. And everything we can perceive has a kind of a movement aspect. That's life in movement. And why? Because when we look at it closely, the contemplation of life means we slow down the movie, and we slow it down enough so that we can see it frame by frame. So in contemplation, we slow down life enough to be able to have a high resolution impression of the current moment. And then we see actually how rich the current moment is. And I believe we all have moments like that, either when we take a walk in nature and then we are in awe because it's so beautiful. We see the harmony in nature. We see the interplay that has been grown over millions of years, how many, many aspects in our natural life really work together, and they work well together. They are kind of synchronized. Or when we listen to a beautiful piece of music and suddenly we are immersed in the music. So we experience the music in a high resolution. Or you look at an art piece, or you just sit somewhere outside and you see people walking by and you see life moving, and suddenly you are much more immersed in the experience. So the sense of separation kind of melts into a sense of interconnectedness. And I believe in one way or the other, we all had moments of immersion, moments of high coherence, as we can call it, or moments of awe, where we get a glimpse of the beauty of the one web of life. And so contemplative practices are designed to help us to make these moments, these more wakeful, interconnected moments, more likely. Because we practice slowing down life, listening to our interior world, exploring our interior world until we can see, feel, and be there in a very high resolution. So that's the movement of life. That means that life is an ongoing movement, and often healing can be understood as the restoration of the original movement. Because all the stress patterns in our life, all what we call blockages or tensions or trauma, many of those elements actually are reducing the movement of life. And then there is a tension in us between the movement of, let's call it our soul, the movement of our intelligence, the movement of our essence, and the parts that are slowed down and that create a tension with our creative expression, participation, and also illumination or awakening. And so often in our life, we know both the part in us that is moving, flowing, expressing itself, and the part in us that feels more slowed down, tense, conflicted, and where we call our life difficult, or we call those elements in us problems. So, and throughout this course, we want to explore what's the nature of the difficulty, how can we maybe reframe it, and how can we work on it and heal it?